Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Deadwood series. This is episode 7 of season 3 and it is called Unauthorized Cinnamon. Last episode, firstly I want to talk about Mrs. Ellsworth. Trixie tried to approach her and discuss the fact she was back on dope. Mrs. Ellsworth just straight up fired her from the bank. So stupid, and of course caused Trixie to go back to her old ways and attempt to get back into prostitution. Complete downward spiral for Trixie. And all she was trying to do was be a good friend to Mrs. Ellsworth. Ellsworth, the man himself, did come back and talk to her again, but he basically said the same thing again, only nicer this time, to let her know exactly where he was in it all. And Leon is going crazy right now because Sai is pressuring him to continue to sell to Mrs. Ellsworth, even though Leon doesn't want to because he knows if she overdoses, I don't know whether on purpose or inevitably or accidentally or whatever, but he knows that he will be killed if she does die because of the stuff he is supplying her. And like I said last episode, I never expected to feel any sort of sympathy for the Leon character, but I do kind of feel bad for him in that one specific singular situation. Farnham went and had that chat with Al about Mr. Hurst, but I still don't trust Farnham. Seriously, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he is loyal to Al and trying to help Al against Mr. Hurst, but my money is on Farnham siding with the most powerful person. So to me it seems like he's probably still working as a double agent for Mr. Hurst. If he is displaying some semblance of loyalty in this one situation, I will actually be quite surprised, but I hope he's still Team Al. But my gut instinct tells me he will always try and side with who he perceives to be the person who's going to come out as victorious, and in his mind that will be Mr. Hurst. And speaking of devil, he was rallying the troops last episode directly by the ear in Sai's case. That was a crazy scene. Someone who is as vicious and generally as dominant in life as Sai, to be just getting his ear pulled and having to sit there and take it with a smile on his face, just shows the level of power you're dealing with a character like Mr. Hurst. I'd say last episode did a good job of moving all of the chess pieces into place, do you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to this week's. This is episode 7 of season 3, Unauthorized Cinnamon. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. Well, I don't know who's walking about this town carrying the unauthorized cinnamon this episode, but I'll be keeping my eyes open. And whoever's unauthorizing the cinnamon better not be looking my way, because my cinnamon is legit. Authorized, 100%. My cinnamon has its paperwork. Don't try come round my way and talk to me about my cinnamon being unauthorized anytime soon. So look the other way, cowboy, or the next time you authorize cinnamon, it'll be in someone's spice rack in the kitchens of Valhalla.
Gone up with your son. Wants notice when you're ready to serve.
I don't think Aunt Lou got there in time. They'd already had their little meeting, kinda.
Let me confide as well, Odell, that when people only say to me with other words what I have just said to them, I quickly grow impatient.
Understandable, to be fair. As much of a prick as Mr. Hurst is, I see what he's saying.
How are you connected to the congregation?
I'm first deacon, sir.
I see. Congratulations.
He is so singularly focused in life in obtaining all the gold.
And dealing with the color, mine is the deciding voice.
Dealing with the color, sir?
The gold. Securing and exploiting the gold.
He's like fucking gold member.
What do you think of the gold?
Makes me hungry, Odell.
Well, if you go to Salt-Bay's restaurant, you can literally order a gilded steak. I bet Mr. Hurst would have fucking loved one of them.
Hostetler was a nigger. Last I looked, I'm white.
I say this every episode, but they better be setting this dude up for some kind of absolutely epic fall, or some sort of world-changing change of character. Otherwise, they're just like subjecting me to this guy's hate speech every episode.
Can you certify the purity of your blood, Steve? I only ask because your nose is broad.
It would be the best plot twist ever if Steve turned out to be mixed race.
Will you mind very much if we have our dinner quickly?
I wonder if, this truly is natural to talk to one another like this all the time, or they're both literally putting up this shield of respectable conversation. It's like he never just walks in and goes, hey, how was your day? Oh, my day was shit. How was your day? Oh, it was all good. I'm going to sit on this chair and just read the news for a minute. Okie dokie. It's always, may I trouble you to have a conversation in 10 minutes time if it is okay with you. Yes, that would be quite adequate. In 10 minutes we shall converse. Thank you.
Leg up to Cheyenne by now, be heading there in a civilized fucking gait.
No idea what Dan's angry about today, but I've got his back.
You remember you come to that meeting before?
We never saw the doc last episode. It does look like he is dying. I mean, I'm talking he looks like he might be on his last legs kind of thing.
You can't talk? Anyway, Al's got another of them meetings.
He's lost his voice. I do not know what illness this is, but it looks fucking brutal.
Anyway, look, I hope you feel better.
What a horrible storyline. How could they do this to the doc of all people? Why can't this be Steve's storyline?
If it's all right with you, Mr. Hayes, it's all right with me.
Now she seems chilled out again. Did she just want to be present during the meeting? She seemed really worried last episode.
Did you have one drink of liquor, Odell, from nervousness about our talk?
I admit I did, sir, yes.
Did you drink on the ship from Liberia?
Hurst is a clued-in individual. He's certainly not a stupid character, that's for sure.
Did the ass say make sense or not?
$10 will buy a report that proves a find of pure ore in your ass, Odell.
That would be an impressive report just to be able to carry around with you. Like, I don't know if you know, but my ass is worth like $780 million. Big gold find. Farnham had a pistol in his hand there. Was he ready to shoot someone dead on the behalf of Mr. Hurst? If that's the case, he is definitely still Team Hurst.
I wish you wouldn't smoke in here.
I wish when asleep you wouldn't snore and fucking fart.
She's one-upped you there.
I'm glad she fucking fired me. I hate that fucking bank.
You know what is funny about Trixie? She reminds me of so many Scottish women. Very fiery are our females.
What's to become of that child?
Yeah, that's the big question thanks to Mrs. Ellsworth slipping back into this state. Like, worst case scenario, if something horrible happened to Mrs. Ellsworth, there is a couple of good candidates to look after the kid, to be fair. Mr. Ellsworth could do it. Trixie could do it. If Jane quit drinking, she would probably be the best. There's a bunch of people in the camp who would do a great job.
You'd have us care for a child.
They shouldn't be discussing this while Mrs. Ellsworth is still alive and well, really.
Maybe that's why you didn't wake him.
I didn't feel his beard.
Possibly that's why.
That's strange. It's almost the exact same conversation as last episode, but a completely different tone to it.
Everything will be all right.
We can only fucking hope.
All collected but Doc. Where the fuck is he? Ain't up to it, he says. Cinnamon's out for the peaches.
Here we go with the Cinnamon story arc I've been anticipating.
Cochran's turned face to the wall. We might put notice in the Eastern papers. Once we've ceased our weeping.
That is the smart thing to do. You can't leave the camp without a doctor. If the doc does pass away, which of course I 100% do not want to happen, but if he does, they need to get a replacement doctor in there ASAP.
I leapt from the coach and straight come to see him.
Al's got a meeting tonight, Gustav.
You can tell him your vision tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Go fuck yourself.
And don't speak disgusting to me or answer for Mr. Swearingen. What is a very important answer.
I've probably completely misread him and he might be a prick, but so far I like the way he's carrying himself.
Even owning a bank don't get you to that table.
But that looks like a fun life, eating out of tins in the one room.
I suppose now I'll take off my fucking undershirt the like and show my tits and so forth.
Well, I'll leave you to watch that part.
Joni's such a legend for doing this though.
Now go ahead and sponge my fucking tits and get it over with, if that's what you fucking do.
It's nothing like that.
Jane is hilarious.
I'd never hurt you, Jane. Or touch you if you didn't want.
I was wondering if these two might end up having a relationship. I think Jane looked at Joni a few times like she liked her in that way. Jane got a little shiver there. I think she enjoyed it.
If you have a thing, the reason for the thing is that you have it. And when I am in New York City,
I think even Al is mildly amused by this guy.
He is very much a handsome man at those times, and maybe he would like one for his stump. Or maybe more.
Is this guy a resident of Deadwood, or has he just came to town? He's incredibly eccentric for a suit salesman.
Always looking for Mama. And where does he finally find her?
Where?
Absolutely captivated.
Mama's got you, little Al. Everything's alright.
This scene is absolutely ridiculous. What a legendary scene.
Thank you, Gustav. Please leave.
Please don't, Gustav. Please stay. Pick a corner and just set up shop.
Do you want to help Liberia, Odell?
I want to help myself.
Sounds like he's being honest, at least.
Every defect in a man and in others' way of taking him. Our agreement that gold has value gives us power to rise above.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the greatest philosophy to live your life by, but it's a philosophy.
For your effrontery at our meal a moment ago, I've seen you shot or hanged without a second thought.
The one thing I don't get is Mr. Horst carries himself like he's scared of no one, but he doesn't really walk around with constant muscle or security, especially now that the captain's dead and even he was just one man. Where does he get the balls, is what I'm wondering.
An old man disabused long ago of certain yearnings and hopes as to how he would be held by his fellows.
Does this guy ever get satisfaction in life? Even with all his riches and wealth, he's singularly focused on expanding the empire. He doesn't seem to take a moment to sit back and enjoy life ever.
I arrested Hurst, acting in the name of the camp.
Without the camp's previous fucking say-so.
Do you propose that? Getting a say-so before I do my duty?
Yes, I. Shut the fuck up.
Give it the fuck back to him.
Sai's still showing very little respect to Seth. Now we're coming to the end of this series. There's a couple characters that I really hope get killed off before the end, or at least by the end of the movie. I don't want to say who just yet, but Sai is definitely one of them.
I invite the suggestions of others against my instinct to send for the guns.
I think your instinct has given you a good read in this situation. Get the fucking gun. What is this note now?
Body was found in the road. Using the cinnamon, and Harry Manning's using it planet.
The cinnamon plot thickens.
I knew him by reputation as an earnest worker and a diligent believer in right and wrong.
Was this that guy's friend that wrote this letter?
Sincerely yours, Seth Bullock.
Seth wrote it.
What's your fucking paper for? You fucking publish as witness.
Nice, that's a good opening power move. Use the press against him.
Sir, I ask you to take me to Mr. Swearingen's place.
Uh-oh, I think Blazanov has some bad news.
Where did you lay your hands on liquor, Harry? Harry.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy now?
White lumps on the tongue.
Really, twin, for God's sake.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There's a lot of illness-related themes running throughout this season, I've noticed. Between the doc and that guy there, this guy in bed, Mrs. Ellsworth fainting earlier on, even Mr. Horst with his back. He must be taking a selfie.
Mr. Hurst wanted me killed, Mama. He could see it done here.
Don't you ever believe you know what to please that man.
He made a good point, but then she made a better one.
I sent you so the hell that was coming here for niggas wouldn't burn you up.
There's plenty of fire in Liberia.
He seems to really be holding this against her, and she was clearly just doing what she thought was best for him at the time.
No bad language. If you kept me to raise me, maybe I'd know.
Wow, that's fucking brutal.
And this brooch here too you can take. I can't find it. I can't find it.
Oh, this shit's horrible.
God, Odell, what's wrong with you? No joy to see it, my boy.
Oh man, I feel so bad for Aunt Lou.
Mr. Hurst orders more bricks, I believe. He orders more humans.
Reinforcements.
To do harm.
So the reinforcements are coming. Just as I was talking about Horst being undermanned out here with his confidence, no wonder he's walking about with an air of arrogance to his step when he knows he's going to have a bunch of backups showing up pretty soon.
Dispose of this, Blazanov.
Further making Blazanov an absolute G, by the way, by making sure that didn't get sent.
Despite your best efforts, Richardson, an answer of some ambiguity.
I can't believe how Farnham treats Richardson.
And where is Hurst?
His room?
I would love to see Farnham die at the hands of Richardson, but Richardson is too innocent to ever do anything like that.
I imagine the pool that spawned you. I am filling it with rocks. I am holding shut your gills.
Oh my god. Richardson does not deserve this type of slander. How dare you suggest he is some sort of lake-spawned sea creature?
He's dead.
Chesterton is with us still.
God, that guy was a pessimist. They never even got the news. Just blotted it out.
He is close to the end.
Yes! Bellegarde!
You don't need to ask that question.
Walls from the side, swooping down from the ceiling. I will dust anyway for Chesterton.
Are we going to get to see the play they're putting on before the end of this season? I hope we do.
Publishing the letter is witness.
Witness?
A witness in the sense that...
Witness the letter.
They witnessed Seth giving it to them. They witnessed the words on the page, and they acknowledged that it was words on the page written by Seth.
Hey! Little Miss fucking Cinnamon.
The Cinnamon plot continues. You should be feeling fucking bad right now. You've chosen to re-become a fiend and an addict when you're looking after a fucking innocent child. Put the dope down the fucking sink and smarten up, Mrs. Ellsworth. I like you.
For being gone, I notice I'm frequently back.
You are a little bit of a boomerang.
The thing I was coming home to do again. I pray now to forego forever.
I hope she manages to kick this shit. This is the last thing I want to see in season 3, is her meet some grim fate because she couldn't get off her dope addiction. She's destined for great things in this town with her bank and her gold claim.
My friendly hands will always be out to both of you.
I don't know if this is his way of trying to get back with her, or if he's already establishing the lines that they are now just friends only. Look at this prick, just lying there staring at the ceiling. Go fuck yourself, you ceiling staring prick.
I wonder if you might remain just a moment while I read it, on the chance I'll want to answer.
Of course.
So if they didn't send the initial one, is this a forgery?
$20, sir.
It's all right, son. Thanks for doing your job well.
You're most welcome.
Got to snake him and make a good day's pay.
Reprobates? The elderly?
Fucking Hurst.
Always Hurst, you should know this by now.
We heard the fucking reading of a letter.
That was a greatly acted there.
Expressing sympathy to the family, respect for the way the man lived. We decided Merrick would publish in the paper.
If it doesn't mention Hurst directly, I don't understand how it's going to apply any pressure to him, unless they're just trying to rile up the common man who reads the news into knowing that it was him already and thus disliking him because of the way the letter's been written.
Tell the whores if their legs ain't in the air, they better be off their asses.
Al loves Thursday Twister Night.
Oh. Perhaps just the one.
He obviously cares a lot about this old man he's looking after, though. I think that's the sole reason he bought the theatre, to fulfill this old guy's wish of, running one last play kind of thing.
Don't eat cinnamon anymore.
Or eggplant?
Not if it shreds your mouth.
The cinnamon plot takes a twist. Also, it was good just to hear the doc's voice there. At least he hasn't completely lost his speech. That's that, oh shit, he is dying look.
Doc, get up here.
Not tonight.
Tonight. Now.
I thought Al would care hearing that the doc was poorly.
This is my place. Do you think it's yours? It is not.
It would be the perfect story ending to this arc if General killed Steve.
You've already fucked a horse.
Nor will I stoop to explaining the mistake in that statement.
The horse ejaculated as defensive. If Steve was in The Godfather and woke up with a horse's head on his bed, he'd get a hard on.
Intolerant to tardiness, you'd be inclined to stay on and work here.
No.
No way, that was Steve showing a sliver of non-racism and friendship building there. Just for a split second. I completely understand the general turning down the offer, but that is actually shocking to me that Steve made the offer to begin with.
Fucking samples, Doc. Notions from that tailor's.
Even Al knows it's not looking good.
I won't make others sick.
No one gets out alive, Doc.
What the fuck is it he's got? Is it just like a common cold? Like just a really bad one? Like bronchitis or some shit? I have no idea.
Every fucking night, I could cut a throat and sleep the sleep of the just. Spend 6 fucking wakings.
I think this is just a genuine anger knowing how ill the doc is, you know.
I ain't learning a new doc's quirks.
Yeah, that's just love released as hatred. Al really loves the doc. Okay, and that was episode 7 of season 3 of Deadwood, Unauthorized Cinnamon, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Unauthorized Cinnamon, what did I think of that? Well, I guess I'll start with what I started with in the intro, Mrs. Ellsworth. This episode seemingly having a self-realisation that she has fallen off into the deep end again and she needs to cut this shit out. I really hope she means what she's saying. She looked down at Sophia sleeping and broke down in tears knowing how much of a fuck up she's being under those circumstances. Ellsworth showed up and she voiced the fact that she needs to get off of this shit. I mean, she must be telling the truth at this point. So yeah, here's hoping this is the last episode we ever see her touch that shit, and moving forward we get a clean Mrs. Ellsworth ruling the camp via her bank once again. They had that little meeting in which Seth produced that letter. They all decided it would work well being put to press, so that's the plan. It doesn't mention Mr. Hurst specifically, but it sort of is written in a way that will make the common man feel sympathy for the person who was killed, and everybody in town knows it was Mr. Hurst anyway. So I don't know if they're just trying to stir up some general hatred towards Mr. Hurst or what the actual long-term game plan is with this letter, but it's definitely not going to make him look good in the eyes of anybody who knows he was the culprit of that crime. The foreign suit maker showed up and stole the show in a scene. That was absolutely hilarious. That's maybe one of the funniest scenes in the entirety of the Deadwood series, when that guy is trying to show Al the different fabrics he has on offer for sale. And poor Aunt Lou, she's wanted to see her son for the longest time. All she's thought about is seeing him again, spending time with him. He's her son, and he shows up only caring about getting this deal done with Mr. Hurst, and actually made her break down in tears this episode just over the fact that he was there and didn't even seem to give a shit that he was once again there with his mum. After many years apart, he uses the fact that she sent him to Africa as some sort of resentment-fueled excuse for his disposition toward her, but she's still his mum. He should be so happy to be back and with her. And yeah, this guy seems to be singularly focused on getting this deal done and making money, and he doesn't seem to give a shit about much else. And Hurst asking for extra bricks. I hope they haven't misinterpreted what that is. He may have just been asking for some extra bricks, but they translated that as him wanting additional manpower, so I believe they didn't send something back, or they intercepted it, or they did something to prolong that. Blazanov still delivered it back to Mr. Hurst. I'm not sure if that was a forgery or what was going on there, but they definitely did something to circumvent that happening smoothly. If a bunch of firepower shows up watching Hurst's back, this whole town is in big trouble. This guy is powerful enough. The last thing he needs is an army watching his back. I remember in one of the earlier seasons of Deadwood, Cy tried to proposition that military general as that little military were passing through camp, wondering if he could take some of the soldiers off of the guy's hands, and the guy obviously was a man of honour and told him to go fuck himself. But Mr. Hurst has so much resource and so much power, I wonder if he couldn't just pay for a little group of official army trained soldiers to do his bidding for him. It wouldn't surprise me. This guy can get anything. He is the richest person, therefore he can do whatever whatever he wants, basically. And all in all, another great episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes next week. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.